With each new iteration of college football, EA adds a ton of plays and playbooks into the game, but what is the best playbook for your playstyle? With a ton of videos on YouTube about the most OP or best playbooks, I wanted to make a video with selection for playbooks that are better suited for a different styles of gameplay. So whether you're looking for a ground and pound or throwing 400 yards a game, or even if you want to bring back the option, I have the playbooks for you. So if you find today's video useful, please hit that like button below and consider subscribing if you're not yet subscribed, as we're going to be releasing a ton of College Football 27 content over the next year, and I hope y'all stick around to enjoy that. But anyways, let's get straight to it. The first playbooks I'm going to cover are going to be for those teams that want to keep it on the ground and just drive it home through the run game. Also, I will attempt to give multiple options for each grouping, but there are some that may only have one, and of course, a lot of these could function for multiple groups, but when I used them, these were the things that I noticed most and the things that the playbooks were the best at, and the things I had the most fun while using these. If you all have any that you have used and enjoyed, let the community know in the comments below so we can all be up to date on all the best playbooks and be a step ahead of the competition. Anyways, the first team I love to use when I am running a ground and pound focused team are the Virginia Cavaliers. This book could be in the unique section, but since a lot of their uniqueness comes from their runs, I stuck them here. They have a lot of interesting direct snaps to the halfback where the QB motions out of the way before the snap. They also have a lot of reverses in most of their sets, and it is just a unique run style that you don't see much within the game. Next up, we have Notre Dame. The Irish have in recent years become really focused on the run in both the QB design run plays as well as the normal halfback style. And this year is no different. While they may not be as unique as Virginia, it is still extremely solid, and I recommend you use them if you're looking for a little bit of a variety between the quarterback and halfback runs. The third one in this group is going to be Tennessee, and this may sound a little off because they aren't explicitly known for running the ball a lot, but with how they set up their offense, they space the field out like few other teams within the game, and this gives them a ton of open space to have your running backs work through. I have been able to average over 6 yards per carry in most games without really trying. The only issue here is that you can never really see your wideouts, so the passing game becomes a little bit of a hassle on the base camera setting. Lastly, we have Michigan, and this wouldn't be a ground and pound section without the Wolverines, but unlike the past years when they have made this list, they do have a viable sophomore QB and are slowly working towards implementing more of the pass focus into the playbook, but for the meantime, they still fit really well in the run game here. Sticking with the run, we motion to the option section. See what I did there? Anyways, in the options section, we obviously have the 3 academy schools, but outside of this, there are only 4 other schools that have the option typing, and that is the spread option. Those schools are Liberty, Rice, West Virginia, and Kansas. Out of these 4, my favorite for the specific type of playbook is going to be Kansas. They have a lot of normal plays and formations the other schools do, but they have a lot more play variety as well. Things like the QB motions before the snap, as well as other players moving. They have a ton of options in that category. They also have access to Wildcat, which the other schools do not, so it gives you just more variety all around. Next up, we're going to be moving on to the pass-focused playbooks, and to start us off, we have the Oregon Ducks. The Ducks run a lot of tempo offense, so a lot of their sets will be vaguely similar so you can go as quickly as possible, but they also have a good mixture of sets like trip wide receivers, even trips tight ends in some cases. They just have a lot of variety in that category, and these will give you a good chance to really confuse opponents' defenses in your dynasty mode. Next up, we stay in the same state and we head to Oregon State for their playbook. This one is definitely more unique than their state counterparts, as they have a ton of bunch sets with trips and even quads in this playbook, if that is something you're looking for. Another thing I noticed in play testing them is that they have a ton of behind the line motion as well, which is a really solid way to better identify man-and-man versus zone defense if you are struggling in that area. Lastly, we have Ohio State, and this is a really good playbook. I like it for passing as they have a ton of variety in nearly all the different styles of setups. They have tight doubles, tight trips, and you can even set up under center as a more of a pro style, which is something a lot of these playbooks leave out since most of them are based in gun. Moving on from pure passing, we are still sticking with the air game, but this time focused more on RPOs. RPOs are so ingrained in college football, it is hard to find a team nowadays who doesn't have a few in their playbooks. Even the academy schools have come around to this. But the first one in this section may be the most meta on the list, and that is going to be the Bowling Green State playbook. If you are in an online dynasty, you will likely use this at some point, but even outside of that, this has a ton of RPO options and a ton of various sets. It also utilizes a ton of multiple tight end passing sets if that's your thing. The other playbook in this section is another meta playbook, and it's the FIU playbook. As you can probably tell, a bunch of these meta books have a heavy usage of RPOs, and the Panthers playbook is no different. They also utilize some more motion from what I saw than the Bowling Green State one, if you prefer that. Along with all the motion and RPOs, they have some really good bunch sets that will be useful against CPU defenses and to give you some variety over the most common sets you see in the game. This next section is going to be one of the most unique ones in the game. As I always like to give a little bit of these off-the-wall type of playbooks that you don't really see a ton of other playbooks have with their play variety or their play setups, or even how their formations are looking. And the first in this group is going to be the West Virginia Mountaineers. They were in the spread style option as well, but I felt like they were just so unique they deserved their own section. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have the Power Eye tight set, which is just so uncommon I had to include it here. They also pair this with a ton of trip sets, so your passing game is also still very solid, which is a little bit different from most spread option based playbooks. And this has by far been one of my favorites to use so far, so I really recommend you all trying it out. The other option here are the Fresno State Bulldogs. While not as wild as the West Virginia one, it is still very different from most other books on this list. They have a ton of 2 halfback sets and a ton of variety from their pistol formations. And I personally love pistol, and it is a big reason why I prefer college over professional football. But anyways, they even go under center and have Wildcat, which are usually never in the same playbook nowadays, and provide some of the most variety on this list. Lastly, we have the Colorado Buffaloes rounding us out, and this is due to the fact they now have the go-go offense in their playbook. This style of offense has been in the game all 3 years since the return of college football, but it's bounced around from UNLV to the generic playbook, and now it's in Colorado's. And it is one of the most solid offenses and fun offenses to use in the game. They have a lot of different formations, even outside of the go-go, and this may be one of the most fun playbooks to use in the game this year. My second to last section is a newer one this time around, and that is the user-created books I have seen on Twitter, YouTube, and elsewhere. Some of the most fun playbooks come from the community, and I wanted to highlight a few here. I will say some of these may have some messed up menus, as it looks like there is a bug when you go to the formation screen, so be wary if you call a lot of plays from that menu. But the GOAT of custom playbooks is going to be Coach Dan Casey, and he has the most diverse book on this list. Tons of options and a little bit of everything type of playbook, so if you're looking for like a multiple-esque playbook, this is the one for you. The other one here I have used a lot of, and it is a loaded pistol playbook by Trick to Rick. And if you're looking for a pistol one, this is probably the one you're going to go with. Just a lot of pistol stuff, if that's your thing, which I am a big fan of, I just mentioned. So I really recommend this one. And you can go head over to the download center and download both of these off there. They should be in the top 5 or 10, so they're going to be right there on the main screen. But anyways, these both are really, really good, and I recommend you using both of them. And they're just some of the most fun I've had on the game with them. But lastly, my personal favorites of this list, I've been using a lot of the West Virginia just for the variety and uniqueness of it, and it also does well as a modern option offense when I am pushing for more of an athletic QBs in my run style. Another one of these that I use a ton of is going to be Colorado's. When I want to use a pistol offense but not be 100% committed to it, I use this one because they have the go-go in here as well, and a bunch of different types of gun offensive setups that you really don't see in many other playbooks. And lastly, obviously, I use the pistol loaded playbook just because it is so fun to use. I just love pistol. I'm going to keep harping on that. If you've been around the channel for long enough, you probably know that as well. But with that, those are my recommendations for different style of playbooks for different play styles. I know obviously these may not be the most meta. Some of them are for sure, but not every single one is going to win you a ton of games in online modes like Online Dynasty or in Road to the College Football Playoff. But if you're like me and you want to kind of have a role-playing Dynasty experience and curate your coach around a specific type of play calling, then this list is going to be great for you, and I hope you all enjoy. So let me know in the comments what you all choose, or other ones you've had fun with that I just didn't mention. It does take a lot of time to review a lot of these, so I may have missed a few that are really solid. So be sure to comment below. But anyways, I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you all enjoy, and as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.